Okay, welcome everyone. This is obviously a really special media conference to do. Just a great occasion. From sitting here however many months ago it was with Ginny making the Olympic team, obviously this is a very different conference to do. So, just a few words from me. Obviously we're amazingly proud of what Ginny was able to accomplish. Probably not just down in Rio, but really the whole last 12 months of her start of her WVU career has been incredible. You guys will, I'm sure, have a ton of questions for her about the experience, but definitely very proud for myself and just the team and the whole university, not just Ginny, but also Niko and the success he had. And I think the other special thing was, for me anyway, was the response. The fact that Ginny's medal was the very first medal of the Games has just been an incredible response. The extra attention that brought, I think, was incredible. And it was really far-reaching, not just in West Virginia, not just in the US, but all around the world. And that actually was great, not just for Ginny and the team and WVU, but really for the sport of rifle and shooting as well. Got so much great publicity for it. So with that, I'll open up the questions and probably hear from Ginny.
Nobody?
Take us a little bit through the timeline when you left Rio, where you went.
When I left Rio
When was that?
to come home. So I think I left Rio on the 15th, and we went to the airport, and I ate in the Rio airport, which proved to be a mistake as I got food poisoning on the plane. Our plane left a little bit late, and we all ended up missing our connections, but I was very fortunate to get on the next flight. So yesterday I managed to land, get all my bags, and drove right down to West Virginia. And then when I got there, the team came over to my house with food that I couldn't eat, but it was very nice. They made it very special of a celebration for me.
What did you eat that made you sick?
I think it was pasta, so.
How do you feel now, Jenny?
Better. Started eating. So.
It's been like walking around town here today. Have you had people come up to you?
It's been an interesting day, to say the least. I've had ESPN following me around to class to kind of do a day in the life series. So it's been a lot of fun to be able to go and show them around my world and also be able to experience the community of Morgantown supporting me.
What's it like to get to this level? This much, this many members of the media wanting to follow you around?
Well, obviously it's great. It's great publicity, not only for me, like John said, but for West Virginia University and the sport of shooting. The fact that my medal was the first one made it very popular and made it so that my sport can grow because of that. And, I might not want the media around me all the time, but that's par for the course, and that's my responsibility as an elite athlete.
You still find yourself waking up some mornings and still being kind of in awe of everything that's happened to you in the last.
It's definitely been an overwhelming year for me, but at the same time, I've grown as a person as I've grown as a shooter. So for me, being able to handle it better is part of becoming successful.
Does this gold medal change how you approach this next season? Or
No.
coming school year? Okay.
My goal has always been to be the best shooter I can be. And not only that, but to be the best person I can be, the best teammate, the best student, everything. And that doesn't change no matter how many medals or what color the medals or where you get the medals. All I want to do is go into the next year and try to improve and try to help my team.
What does your training schedule look like? Just could you give us an idea of what the next couple months will be like for you?
So a normal day for me would be I'd go to class 8:30 to 1, train with my team 1 to 5, 5:30 workout, 6:30 team dinner, homework, bed at 10 p.m. exactly. So that's a normal day. As far as my training for the next few months, I'll have a bit of time off, which is a first, and then the college season will start, and I'm very excited for that.
From when you learned to shoot when you were 14 to now, did you think this is where you would be just 5 years later?
I honestly never speculated. I was just trying to improve, and I really wanted to come to West Virginia for a long time. So once I've got here, to be honest, I've just blossomed. I have all the resources I need, and I couldn't be happier.
How much has that confidence played a part in your success in shooting?
It's a huge part. You have to have the confidence to go into every match to know that not only your self-worth isn't invested in the results of that match, but you can do anything you want to do.
What other big takeaways do you have from being in Rio? Just being there in general?
The Olympics is a really special match because it's every country and every sport, and it's just a unique atmosphere. And to be able to go and experience that and to become friends with other Team USA athletes, to meet other athletes from other countries, is just a very special, regardless of the competition, it's a special time.
Any things that stand out to you that you got to witness there, just like from a fan perspective?
I had a lot of fun going to some other events. I got to see fencing, trampoline, and diving.
Was there any, like, did you think at all about coming to school late or something just so you could stay down there and hang out a little longer?
So I actually did change my flights to be able to stay a few more days, but in the end, you have to get back to school, life moves on, and I thought it would be more stressful to miss a few days of school than to be down there.
Did you have any classes today?
Yes, I had
Really?
3.
What were some of your classes?
So I started with second semester of physics, and then I have differential equations, and then I had intro to electrical engineering.
Cool. So like big classes.
Yes.
What was the reception like? I mean, were there, I'm sure being in engineering, people are aware of you already just as
Yes.
a classmate, but what was it like as you walked around wearing, Team USA gear and people recognized, oh yeah, that's Ginny Thrasher?
Like I said, the best part about Morgantown is the community. And for me, being able to go, because I had an entourage of photographers with me today, I think less people approached me than I expected. But at the same time, all my friends are so happy and proud of me. And to be able to just go and experience that and be thrown into the midst of Morgantown is great.
ESPN wants you wearing the medal.
No, I think I would have gotten bombarded if I wore the medal to class.
Is it going to go home with your family, or are you going to keep it?
I have not decided yet, but I'm going to put it in a very safe place.
John, how do you handle just a sophomore who is already one of the most decorated student athletes in university history? How do you as a coach say, okay, let's get even better, or let's maintain a level head?
Yeah, I think you just have to, go day by day a little bit. I mean, I think, I know Ginny's ready to just go back to being another team member and another student and back to normal life. So, she's great to work with that respect. She's incredibly honest, so I know she'll come in my office and tell me what she's thinking at any time. So, I think that'll make it easy. She'll have the same demands as always, but, I think I'm more experienced now as well. I've had 10 years coaching. I've had people like Petra and Niko and other international students, other students that have been to the Olympics on the team. So I think it'll be pretty easy. I mean, it'll be a lot of managing her training schedule, taking the right amount of break from now until the season starts, making sure that there's rest times, but also then I think everything will probably just fit back into place. It's going to be her comfort zone as well. And absolutely, I mean, in terms of the actual shooting and how to improve, that comes from her a lot too. Like, she wants to get better. She's pretty grounded in that respect. So yeah, we'll work together as a team to just keep improving, finding ways to improve. Obviously, as a coach and a staff, we'll find ways to motivate her, but I'm sure she'll find lots of ways to motivate herself as well. So, I think it's going to be a good challenge and a next step, but for a lot of aspects, it's going to be business as normal with the team, and Ginny fitting right back in as another team member just like last year.
Like you said, you've been through this before as a coach with the others who have battled. Can you even begin to put into words what it was like to watch?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, just really incredibly special to watch that. I was fortunate in London to actually watch Niko, in person win his medal. This time I was trying to follow it on a phone and do it as best I could. That day I was actually in Europe and at a wedding, so I was having to grab phones, follow the coverage, get in trouble from my wife occasionally. But yeah, just incredibly, when I was watching the match, and kind of estimating what score it would take to get in the final, and Ginny just stayed right on pace and shot a really solid match, made the final, and then as she said, anything can happen in the finals. She's an excellent final shooter, and then it was just incredibly exciting watching the final and just I guess getting more and more excited and realizing what was possible, and even at the end, probably took a little bit of time even for me to sort of let it sink in that she'd actually gone all the way and was going to be an Olympic champion. So just incredibly special.
Where in Europe were you?
Holland that day.
Were you able to call her?
No, we were texting a good bit. So we were able to keep in touch with text, and I knew as soon as it happened I may not hear from her for a good 24 hours with how the media operates down there, and I think she can tell you, I think she barely got to see her parents for 2 minutes, so I was able to send a message and I knew we'd catch up in the next day or so.
When you first met Jenny, what qualities stood out to you?
I think just a very outgoing, driven person, just very willing to speak her mind even as a 14, 15-year-old camper. I think very determined and very, had a great belief in herself. And then what I really loved when she did come to camp, that even though she was, very outgoing, very talkative, she was still a great listener and very coachable. And she took in and absorbed all the information we gave her at the camp, and she listened as much to the team members that were coaching her as she did to myself. So I knew that she was going to be a great learner, and that someone like that, if they have the determination and the motivation alongside those things, they can go as far as they want to be, as they want. So and I'm sure in life for Ginny that's going to be outside of sport, whether it's career-wise, engineering, medical, whatever that's going to be, she's going to have that drive and determination. So rifle is a very repetitive sport. You essentially do the same thing again and again and again. So if you've got that willingness to learn and you have that work ethic, then those are some really big factors.
Ginny, this year's Olympics, there's a lot of talk about women and how empowering that was. For you to be the first female athlete at the review to get a gold medal, how was that for you, and how empowering can it be to the next generation of females to come?
Obviously, it's a great thing for me to be able to do that. One of the best parts about rifle is natural ability does not hold you back. And whether you're a male, female, 5'1", 6'1", it doesn't matter. Rifle's a sport where you very much get out of it what you put into it. And that's the message I'd like to get across.
Ginny, you mentioned earlier that you got to talk with a few of your Team USA teammates, but did you get to talk to Niko at all? And if so, did he give you any advice for your future?
I got to talk to Niko as well as Petra and Jiva a lot, so that was great. I didn't really get any advice from him. He was kind of still in match mode. I was in recovery mode from my Managing Victory tour, but it's very nice to have that. It's very nice to have that connection, and when you go to World Cups or you go to the Olympics, you have that community that spans across nationality.
Any other feedback from your appearance with Dan Patrick? Because for the record, you did great.
Thank you. So that was my first interview on the Managing Victory tour, and after that my entire schedule got changed. So I think they liked what they saw.
I've got to embarrass Ginny on the
Oh no.
Dan Patrick side. When I did talk to her a few days afterwards, I'd seen a lot of pictures from the interview and watched it and stuff, and Ginny was like, John, I didn't even know who Dan Patrick was. So, it was obviously a great interview, and I think he certainly seemed to enjoy it as well. But I think that's kind of summed up, Ginny's just innocence in that respect, and just doing a great interview, and all along being fairly oblivious as to who that guy was.
You meet the producer, Seton? He's
Yes,
a
I
WB
did.
grad.
Okay.
Yes. So they were all very nice. Dan Patrick has a great sense of humor because I think he realized I didn't know who he was.
Any other questions for Jenny?
When you flew back to the U.S., did you fly back to Washington, Pittsburgh?
So we flew from Rio to Houston, Houston to Washington.
And that same day you came here?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a long day.
That was yesterday.
Yeah. Just got back.
Yeah.
So you didn't get a chance to talk to anybody?
No.
Back from that. I know you said your phone blew up after the goal. Did you get back together now? Or where's that scene?
I'll be honest, I haven't replied to very many text messages or Facebook, or I'm still kind of putting myself back together, and hopefully I'll get to that soon.
But it takes time, right, to kind of get back to normal, what is normal.
Definitely, but that's why I was really excited to come back to college, because this is my comfort zone and this is where I can get back to normalcy and routine.
Can you describe what it's like to be behind the gun in such a strenuous competition?
Definitely. I think this competition is one where you can mentally outthink yourself, and that's the danger. So for me, just being very focused, during the match, I started out with some struggles, and I had to come off the line, and my Olympic coach down there said, Ginny, all you can do is shoot the best you can. I got back on the line, and that's what I did, is I shot the best I could. I had a very bad hold, but it didn't matter. And then once I got into the final, I was very much focused on my breathing, and that was the point where all the training and all the discipline just came through for me, and all I did was focus on my breathing and let my body do what it knew how to do.